All right, so Jacob and I are here. We've been having some pretty deep conversations lately, just him and I, pretty much weekly, sometimes even several times a week. And we just thought it would be fun to record some conversations and just kind of explore some ideas that we've been talking about and some thoughts and just see where it ends up. So that's what we're doing here today. And I think today we're gonna dive into the stillness. So, Jacob, why don't you tell us what your definition of the stillness is? Maybe some experiences or whatever comes
Yeah,
up, brother.
absolutely. First, gratitude to be here with my good friend Jeffrey, and just to be like, I don't know, feeling like in God's grace. Um, I think my computer's freezing up. Can you hear me okay, Jeffrey?
I can hear you. Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So gratitude for experiencing and receiving God's grace. As many people know, you and I have been through our own version of struggles and suffering, and just really glad and grateful to be here, um, able to have these conversations, these deep conversations, and just really questioning and exploring, and diving deep into like what we're doing here, what this reality is for each one of us, experiencing this stillness, going into meditation. Like, what is that? Where is that? What can we gain from getting quiet and still, and uh, kind of guidance can come through from that place. So I think probably I was on a solo retreat and was dropping into meditation and experienced this just really blissful place that felt like it was ever expanding in my mind, like in my forehead. I could like physically feel this place of expansion and this great stillness and this place of like pure bliss and peace. Um, the world was going on outside of me, and I was like still and felt totally supported and totally held and loved, and like everything was right in the world. And it's just this blissful peace. And um, since then, like dropping into that, you and I started doing this regular back in like early December, I think, and then got the guidance to start offering meditations to help other people explore this place with us in their own unique way. And um, I feel like it's all a mystery, and there's really no way that my mind, the mind of Jacob, can comprehend or understand. And I don't think that there's any need to. I don't think it's necessary to. I think that whatever is supposed to be revealed, we will receive in the right time. So trusting that guidance and super excited to be on this journey and exploring all the different variations and opinions and experiences that people are having. I've been seeing some really cool podcasts and listening to some really cool folks, and just becoming aware of so much that's available in this reality.
Mm.
Um, I think we have no idea. I think this reality that has been created and placed in front of us is, somebody, or some entity or some group's version of reality, and it's not necessarily true. It's not
Hmm.
necessarily one that I would pick, or one that I would create, or one that feels like It feels like we're in a huge paradigm shift right now. It feels like people are waking up to like God's love and really the mystery and the mysticism of Christ and his message to people and his connection to God, to the the source of all creation. Um, so that's what we're here to talk about and explore. Um, Go ahead and jump in there, Jeffrey. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah, man, I would agree with what you're saying. Let me tell you about my first experience really being in the stillness was similar to yours. I was on a personal retreat, um, 3 days in the wilderness, fasting, no cell phone, and nothing to really do except for meditate and just be. And that's what I was doing one afternoon, and all of a sudden I just experienced the most peaceful, most still, absolutely beautiful experience I've ever experienced. It was like all that was left was just pure awareness. And I don't even know how long I was in that state because after I came out of it, it was like I was in another reality. And I looked at my phone and hours had gone by. I don't know if I was in that state for hours or what, but yeah. And then the rest of the retreat, I was just in like a deep, deep meditative state, like a flow state almost. And then even after the retreat, when I got back home, just looking back at that experience, it was like a different reality. Like looking back, it was like a different dimension that I was in. And ever since then, I have been hooked on meditation and getting to that still space. So yeah, that being said, I don't know, Jacob, what do you think about the idea that everything in this existence arises out of stillness? I mean,
I think that's what's, yeah,
yeah, I feel like that's a good like truth to say. Like that would be
that's
truthful.
that's the starting point. That's I mean, before the as we know it, before the creation of the universe, what was there? I mean, is
Hmm.
I guess it's really hard to even speculate that, but when you go to this place of stillness in this meditation that we're talking about, it feels like that is like the base. Like
Yep.
that's the center point of all existence. It feels like that's the beginning and that's the end. That's the constant that is always there, always steady, always the same, beyond all the chaos and all the even more than the chaos, even the beautiful things in this reality, in this experience, like everything at the bottom is just that pure stillness.
Yeah.
And so interesting question. Go ahead, actually, before I get into this. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say ever present, infinite. I mean, no depth to it. Like no, like it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like you cannot reach an end. Um, but yeah, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, so what can be created from that place? Like so some of the things we're gonna like talk about and explore are like what can we create with our thoughts, like going to that
Hmm.
place and um implementing the feelings because I know I've experienced huge transformations that you know at one point I didn't even believe possible for myself. Um and I experienced this like rapid transformation because of our mentor, actually, the mentor I was working with at the time, and still do, Brian. Asking me these questions, and also, just offering me support and friendship and like unconditional love. It felt like so
Hmm.
really opened me up his first questions he was asking me, if anything's possible, what do I want to create in my life as Jacob in my reality? And um, so if we can connect with a feeling of what we want to transform into, um, and then really connect with that feeling, see yourself there, feel it in your body, and then like the experience comes. So
Yeah.
interesting mystery, like exploring that. But I know there's stories of that all over, all over the world, and um, yeah.
Well, I mean, from a biblical standpoint, everything was created from stillness. So why can't you do it? Why wouldn't you be able to do it in your own mind? Not saying that we are God or anything wild like that, but if you come to this still place and you're able to be completely calm, and then yeah, like you're saying, you can envision your future and pick out a goal that you want to get to, start to feel like, what is that going to feel like? What is that going to, you know, yeah, what does it look like? What does it feel like? And you start to embody that feeling. I mean, Joe Dispenza talks about that a lot. And
If you can talk about it, if you talk about it and believe it as truth within your being, your heart and mind and body. I heard something very interesting today. This guy said the best way to live a good life is to project a good life,
boom.
because what you're putting out. And I remember my father telling me this. He was watching some like self-help or some motivational stuff when I was just a kid, and he would say, be careful about your words. Be very mindful about what you're saying and what you're putting out into the universe. And when we think about like frequencies and vibrations and stuff, that our thoughts even have, like our thoughts even
Hmm.
have this powerful like vibration and this frequency that goes out. And so be very mindful about your thoughts and especially your words. And retreat that we were in over New Year's, the New Year's breathwork retreat. Um, I I came up with this like do the way, like if you don't know the way, um, do your best
Let
at doing
let the
right.
way, yeah, let the
Do the
way.
way until the way does you.
That was it. Boom. Yeah.
So live the life you want to live. Act as if you're in that space now, and then just watch it come to you, because the like God, it's so hard to even, some people are, I think, can understand this and get this, and some folks maybe not, and that's fine. And like what just the mystery of creating your own reality with intention. So
Yeah.
what you're saying, what you're putting out is going out and then coming back to you in that form. So if you're like constantly negative and constantly, frustrated and mad, I heard somebody say one time, like, if you're all frustrated and mad and you're pissed off and you're driving down the road, and then like cars keep pulling out in front of you, and it's like all the way down, and all these cars are like pulling out in front of you, you're like, what's going on? Why are all these? You're getting road rage, and it's just getting worse and worse. And it's like, because why is this happening? Because that's exactly what you're attracting.
Hmm.
Like, and I've experienced this in my own life in that very
Yep.
same scenario on the road. If I'm in a rage and I'm hurried and I'm frustrated, and it's like constantly red light after red light, somebody slow poking in front of me. And it's like, if you can gain control over yourself and your thoughts and your actions, and in that moment, and then shift that, eventually it becomes a new habit and a new pattern. And I used to have terrible road rage, and now I'm a very peaceful driver. And it's seldom that thing that all these distractions are coming out in front of me. It's generally just a pretty peaceful, smooth ride. And if it's not, I'm able to center myself and breathe and not let something like that like really get me frustrated or worked up, because that energy is no bueno.
Yeah.
No good. All that low vibration, frustration, anger, like it's good to be aware of those and like call yourself out on it and shift those into something else.
Right. So it's like, yeah, um, I don't know. I can relate to what you're saying with the energy you put out as to what you attract. I mean, looking back on my life, um, I came from alcoholism, and that was one of the most lowest, darkest times of my life. And it's just like looking at the people that I attracted to my life, like none of them are bad people, but it's not the beautiful like friendships that I have now that are really deep and have a lot of meaning, and we connect really well and talk about things like this. And yeah, so I can resonate with that a lot. But yeah, kind of kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's all good.
Um
We're just here like exploring this. Like there's no like we don't even have like really an outline. We just had this
so,
idea yesterday and had a
yeah.
really deep conversation yesterday. Um and wanted to jump into it. So
So let's see if let's say you have something that you want to do or a goal or whatever that you'd like to attain. That's going to start as a thought, right? And then you're going to eventually say it out loud, and then you're going to start moving towards that. But what I think what we're getting at is when you can be in sort of like a meditative state and really start feeling that energy to that thought, and then yeah,
and
just
being consciously aware of where that thought's coming from, where
right,
that
yeah,
desire is coming from.
that's
It
true too, yeah.
is that coming from the stillness, or is that coming from my own mind?
Right,
I
from your
think
own
I think
self.
uh, I think like discernment in that is very important. And I guess people have different ways of discerning what's right and best and highest for them, but um, it seems like when you're in the flow, if you can like surrender to the unknown and like let go of, I don't know, man, just let go of the need to like understand or uh yeah, let go of the need to understand of how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen or what's going to happen, and like let something uh like this has been my prayer. This is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but my prayer for a long time has been like, may I like empty out all
Hmm.
my shit as Jacob, and may I be an open vessel for God to create what God is here to create. And I think, uh, what is God here to create? Well, if we have infinity and there's eternity, like everything's eternal and all these different versions of reality, then I imagine everything will be created. Anything will be created. And like we are the creators through God is the creator through us.
Mm,
Like we are here in the physical form manifesting God's dream, God's vision,
yeah, God's will.
God's will. Like that's what we're doing here.
Yep.
So it's interesting really to think about that, because when you think about, so we've been having these talks about the the God's awareness in a non-dual form. So you have duality and you have non, and us here doing this dance. And my view of non-dualism is, there's only God's awareness beyond my mind. The stillness that we're talking about, like that's
Hmm.
God's awareness, that's God's consciousness. And we are individual, unique expressions of that, like playing out a role to experience for God's awareness. And I had this interesting like download, if you will, a few weeks ago about um, like that's what we're doing here. That's our purpose is to experience is to experience what Jacob is here to experience, and Jeffrey's here to experience, and you're here to experience, and even possibly on like a molecular level. I know you've heard of the double slit experiment, and like light particles are even aware. So, I don't understand. I don't necessarily even have enough understanding to talk about it, but it's fun to explore these different like scenarios and like what's going on here. And if God's awareness is the only thing that is, or is what's beyond like Jacob's mind's awareness, the awareness of my mind, that's the non-dual. Like this is my mind, and of course I'm aware of what I'm doing here in this version of reality, but that's only one very small perspective, one single in a sea of infinity, a sea of infinite perspectives. Like, so the one awareness, the God's awareness, the non-dual, has record of all perceptions. Every single individual experience is in God's awareness. And I think from which is the stillness. And so when we're tapping into the stillness, we're tapping into that knowledge that is ever growing and ever expanding, ever evolving, and learning more and experiencing more, because the experiences go on and on and on and on and on. So it's never ending. So we are like contributing to a library, if you will, of God's awareness through all these different perspectives. And if we can get still and tap into that, then we can, I feel like, get better guidance on what we're here to do or what God would like to do through us. Um, and, Nikola Tesla, I know I've read things about him where he used to go into the stillness and get downloads on how to build these like energy source machines and all these mystical crazy machines. He would get the download, the blueprints on how to build it. He would come back here and then build it, and it would work. So it's like amazing, like this infinite knowledge, I guess, that is potentially available, if we can access this place of stillness where the one awareness resides, which I feel like is where our souls reside eternally. And so if
Yeah,
we can tap into that and be guided by that, then I think we're capable of creating, just, I don't know, anything, the most amazing anythings you could come up with.
anything is possible.
Anything. I mean, think
I
about,
mean, it literally is. Anything is
think,
possible.
yeah.
What pops up in my head is, and I know we've talked about this before, but you take like throughout the history of even mankind, and you go all the way back to like cavemen who started using stone tools, and where did they get that knowledge? Like, sure, some of it's trial and error, but then you get Native Americans who are eating different plants for medicinal uses and yada yada yada. I mean, there's only a certain amount of trial and error. You can't go eat every plant in the forest and be like, this one killed me and this one didn't. This one made my belly feel better when I was sick. Like, that knowledge has to come from somewhere. and I think it's coming from both sides. I think it's coming from the human that's able to tap into that as well as the plant. And and yeah, so
Absolutely.
that's like an example that I can think of just right off the bat, man. But it's absolutely fascinating to think about. And then to think about, I mean, just the history of just evolution, if you will, whether you agree with like evolution in the sense of Darwin type evolution or not, either way, we are constantly evolving. So it's like it's that library you're talking about, constantly building on itself and building on itself and building on itself and building, and it's just absolutely fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating. Um, I mean, so we are, I think if we weren't born here to our mothers and say like this earth and we look up at this in the sky, we just see the sun, we're warmed by the sun, we see the stars at night. So we're on this big planet spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting a star, and this is like massive scale. And there's 8 billion people here that are born from a sperm and an egg that we can't even see and grown into big humans from nothing, something you can't even see. And all spiraling through an infinite universe, all in sync with other planets and other stars and galaxies. And like, I mean, if that stuff's possible and we're breathing air, like we breathe in oxygen and we have blood flowing through our veins and we eat food and process food and take energy from the sun, like came to the food and then goes into our bodies and we process and assimilate all that. Like what? Like who came
Yeah,
up with that? Like
yeah,
if I knew nothing and you threw me into this place, how I mean, that's how I'm feeling more and more actually, is like walking around and looking and just being like, wow, what the
just
fuck, man?
just in
Like this is
total wonder.
nuts. It's a
Yeah,
total wonder. Everything is, man. It's like a blessed gift
it's
to be here,
absolutely beautiful, man. Yeah,
feeling the
I
warmth of the
I
sun,
share that with you. Yes.
the wind. Like I know being when I was on my retreat a few months ago and my solo retreat where I experienced this like stillness and meditation. I'm sitting there in stillness and I'm in this still place and I'm feeling just blissful already. And then a breeze comes by and just like kisses me all over my skin. And it was just like, oh my God. I just started grinning and like laughing and just how amazing just to feel the wind on your skin. Like how amazing. It's like
Just
a dream. It's just like a
yeah,
dream. It's
it's nuts, man. Like, yeah, I don't know the science behind it, but how many nerve endings do we have in our skin to be able to feel just the slightest little breeze? And most of us, including myself, are just off in la la land all day to even not even realize that. So that's been like a goal of mine for a while that I'm constantly working on is to be present in the moment, like 100% present. What am I feeling? What am I tasting? What am I seeing? Hearing. But not, I mean, I got to be careful because I don't want to like attach, like, you know, oh, that's a tree or that's, whatever. But just being present in the moment. And when you can do that, like when I experienced that stillness on my retreat, that's what it was. I was 100% present in the moment, and it was magic. It was absolutely magical. Like, yeah.
yeah, it's like a real magical place, man. And to think that we've lost the presence, that
Hmm.
all the distractions around, man. It's like this, like questioning this reality, like who set this up? I shared a post in Facebook the other day. It was a beautiful picture of like a beautiful landscape of the earth
I saw that. Yeah.
somewhere. They're endless. I mean, you could go to a million different places and see different landscapes on this earth that are just amazing and blow your mind. And it's like, everybody's running around, driving their cars, looking at their phone, working 9 to 5 till you're 65 years old. Like, what? That does not feel like what we're designed to do. It doesn't feel like
No,
that's what we're here for. Like,
no.
who tricked us into this?
What what are you here for, Jacob?
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. And I think I'm a really good carpenter. I've been building for 18 years. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing the progress. I enjoy helping people, but more mainly like what I love about it is connecting with the people. And like the more and more that I wake up and like self-realize like who I am, the more and more I remember like my soul's presence with an eternal God,
Hmm.
the more I'm becoming aware that that is my gift, is connecting with other people and sharing like this light that is inside of me and inside of you and inside of every person here. And some lights may be dim. Some people may not even know they have a light at all, but there's this powerful light that can get bright and just fill you from the inside out. And
Yeah.
like that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people and motivate people and share this light that I've discovered in myself that is overflowing, is an abundance of like God's love, it feels like. And I want to share that with my friends first, which we do
Hmm.
regular. We have a great group of friends and we travel together and we get together. I mean, our goal is to get together once a month,
We've been killing
and
it, dude. I think
we've
I
been
think
killing
I think we have been like once a month since last year sometime. Just
it. The
and
fa-
it's not even
it's
that hard to do. It just happens.
yeah, yeah. And I think like more and more people are waking up to that's what we're here to do, is to be in communion with each other and inspire each
Yes.
other and help each other. Because
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to I don't want to be in this place alone. I want to I want to inspire you to self-realize and come into this same place that I'm in and let's create something.
Yeah.
Like let's get creative. If
Yeah.
anything's possible, let's align, let's tune in to the stillness, get the guidance, and like freaking create, man. Something
Let's
beautiful,
go.
something different, something
Let's
unique,
go.
like
Yep.
something never before done. Like let's provide God a new experience to throw in the library. Like,
Just see what all the fuss is about.
dude, I was wondering, I was looking and wondering, like, man, what's all the fuss about? Let's go see. Let's go
Yeah.
see what we can do.
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah, I'm waking up to a lot of the same realizations, Jacob, and I share that desire that you share to be the light and help others realize their light and yeah, man, we can change the world. Like
dude,
literally.
Christ, the story of Christ, he came and was a light and had this connection to God and was showing us,
Hmm.
the possibilities to connect with God and be guided from that place. And nobody, it seemed like, I mean, as far as I understand the story, his people didn't want to hear it. Like his church people, his religious leaders didn't want to hear about his connection to God and the truth. And it's like, man, it feels like we're in a time here and now where people are waking up to
Hmm.
this creative, like God wave that's coming through and sweeping humanity right now. And man, like you imagine if multiple people are waking up, like Christ was awake, and that connection that Christ had was showing us to a living God. that is living and actively creating and actively participating.
Hmm.
Man,
Can I jump in here? Because I
do
think
it.
I think a lot more people are waking up to a, I don't want to say different version of Christ because it's still Christ, but different than what the Christian religion has historically said Jesus Christ was. I know me personally I am, like you said, emptying out, just letting go of my ego, letting go, letting go, letting go, and through which at the same time developing a relationship with Jesus Christ, because it's like, who else could be a better model than Jesus Christ? And so I'm asking for a deep, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ where he is inside me and guiding me day in, day out, to where it's not it's not Jeffrey on earth, it's Christ operating through me in alignment with God's will. And I think that others are waking up to that same realization, that same desire.
Dude,
But
what a powerful experience. Like Christ healed the blind. He rose Lazarus from the dead after 4 days, dude. Can you imagine? Like, I know it's hard to realize something or to even imagine something like that in this version of reality, but this version of reality was created or was I can't it was perpetuated is not the word. I don't know. It was created from, you know, they killed Christ.
right.
He was doing these things and they killed that and snuffed it out. But like if you can wake up to the and imagine the possibilities of raising a dead man after 4 days, like if you can open up to that as a possibility in Christ, a man connected to God the Father doing that, like what? That's just as freaking nuts as spinning around on a planet 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting a star, spiraling through
Yeah,
space. It's just as nuts, man.
just as
It's
nuts.
orbiting, spinning, orbiting the sun. That is just as nuts and crazy and sci-fi that you can imagine, just even more than raising a dead man. And we're doing it. As far as we
Yeah.
know, we're spinning and orbiting.
We sure are. Yeah. Anything is possible, man. Anything is possible.
Yeah. So Jeffrey and I are asking these questions. We are like tapping into the stillness, seeking the guidance to be open to creating, something amazing here. And we don't really like know what it is. I mean, we have, ideas and we have goals and ambitions and desires of, helping people and, having like holistic wellness retreat center where you come and um, you know, you take care, you learn how to take care of yourself, you learn how to empty out, you learn how to open up to the guidance that's available through the stillness. So that's one of our visions like coming up. But like beyond that, what are we going to create? Something unique. Like what
Yeah.
think of something that's never been done before. And like getting that inspiration from God, from an infinite God that has all the awareness of everything that's ever happened, ever will happen. You think of what AI could do with that information. Think of what AI, if AI had all the knowledge ever in existence, past, present, future, and then put all that together, what could it come up with new? It'd be endless.
Yeah.
It'd be infinite. And
Infinite.
that's what
Yeah.
God's doing.
Yeah.
So God
The
has all that
OG.
knowledge. The OG.
The OG.
Dude. So think about what wants to come through. What wants to come through us is something purely new and unique and like never been seen, never been done before. It's a culmination of all this data, all these experiences, and then let's sprout something new.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
man, So that's what we're interested in. That's what
That's,
we're seeking out here.
yeah, that's what we're doing. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited. I'm
Yeah,
in that
it's
energy
exciting
of
just to talk about.
creation. Yeah,
Yeah, it's exciting
exactly.
just to like talk about and think about and have this conversation. It just gets me like it gets me pumped, man.
Gets me amped up. Yeah, all amped up.
All amped
Let's
up, man.
go, brother.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have any final thoughts here?
I don't know. I mean, I know, this kind of went all over the place, and I imagine, this is our first
Yeah, we're
time.
just figuring it out.
We're just winging it
Just
right
winging
now.
it.
I
Yeah,
imagine it will get more detailed and more structured and like easier to follow. I imagine that we'll have certain specific topics, and we stay on topic. Although when you're talking about this stuff, man,
it
you
could
you
go
you
anywhere. Yeah,
you get something and then you chase it down and you open
it,
up, things just start flowing. You get in the flow state. Like musicians experience this, poets, actors, really anybody of influence, motivational speakers. You get in this flow state and you follow it. Like because like musicians and poets, like I have a friend that's a poet, and man, his best work is totally unrehearsed. Like, freaking Papadosio, man, when they go on
yeah,
when they're just jamming and they
yeah,
don't have like anything particular, they're just going, man, it's some of the grooviest stuff. So
yep.
some of the meatiest, like most like sustainable, most fruitful
Just it just
things come through.
spontaneous. Yeah, spontaneous
Spontaneous.
in
Yeah.
the moment. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, we'll probably have structure and have time to go by, and then we'll start there, and then we'll end up, here or there or somewhere for sure. And there's
Yeah,
limits, like no limits. There's no
no, no limits, infinite possibilities. Anything is possible.
infinite. Yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, yeah, grateful to be here with you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Grateful
I
to
look forward
be
to
yeah. Yeah, man.
look forward to doing this more and going deeper and exploring whatever, wants to be explored, and just being open to like reflections from anybody out there, that sees this or that wants to bring up a topic or make suggestions, or I imagine we'll even invite other people on to go into these discussions and like into these explorations, and um just
Yeah. That's
not really
the
try to understand more, but just like have fun.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's understandable. I don't think any of this is even comprehensible by our little minds, dude. Like
No,
it's
for sure. And that's
impossible.
that's that's like
It
part of the excitement of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The
So it's
unknown. And man,
yeah,
if you can let go of the
it's fun to poke
limitations,
around and see what's going on and just come up with crazy theories or not so crazy theories or truths, whatever.
yeah. Well, glad to be here with you, Jeffrey. Glad to have you as a soul brother. Um, Feels like we've been doing this a long time, man. We're just
Yes,
back
it
at it.
does.
We're just back
Yeah.
at it now.
Yeah, who knows how many times we've done this.
Shoot.
All
Well, I
right,
look forward to
JF.
this go round.
Yeah. Love you, brother.
Peace. Love you guys. Peace.